This is a Pareidolia process that I developed for creating a graphic novel. I've been working with Pareidolia for over 40 years, drawing and painting and printing, but I wanted to see if I could apply the same process I use for making a graphic novel. The process of Pareidolia involves starting off with some randomly marked paper. You could mark it many different ways. Even just wrinkling up your paper would be random markings. And once you have the random markings, you stare at them long enough until you see images. I've used tempera paint with a wet paper towel. I've even used instant tea with just a little bit of water and a paper towel and going across the paper to make some random marks on the paper. I formatted the pages based on the comic book format of 10" by 15". I divided up by 3 panels and then 2 panels on each of the levels. I staggered them to be wide, narrow, narrow, wide, wide, narrow, or turned it upside down to be opposite that. I make those markings on my paper cutter so that I can just grab that randomly marked paper, cut them into panel sizes, take the panel pieces and tape them to a board with a little bit of a gap between them. Or I can work smaller on an 8.5 by 11 size with smaller panels, and I made those markings on my paper cutter to go along with the smaller size. Once I've got those cut, I save the extra pieces for mismatched panel sizes. This is a 8.5. This is a 10 by 15 size format that I like, and these aren't the standard panel sizes. These were just pieces that were left over. I place a piece of clear laminate over it and stare at it until I see images like these faces, and square off the panels to make it look like comic book or graphic novel. If you look at these random markings, you can start to see some of the things I saw, including the eyes and the face and the head of the person over here sitting down drinking coffee, and the face with the pencil going into the mouth. Then I turned it upside down and did the same thing with another clear piece of laminate on top, and what I saw was a dog sitting, a person behind them with dark glasses, people walking past this outdoor cafe, and the close-up of hands at the table with a pencil. If you were to look at it long enough, you'd probably see something entirely different. But this is what I saw. The dog was easy to spot. And then I would take these clear laminate pages and I would place them under a piece of paper on a light table and trace the lines onto a piece of paper, clean them up and darken the lines. I would do that for each of these pages, but I found a shortcut to that that's helped me to go faster. I've taken the clear laminate pages, placed them on a copy machine, and copied them the way I would see them, putting them on the copy machine so they would end up backwards from the way I drew it. This helped by putting the paper onto a clear piece of plexiglass, allowing the light to shine through, seeing the image the way I initially drew it, and then cleaning up the lines and inking them in. Once I had it sketched in and I had enough pages, I was able to decide what the story was telling, add the narration and spoken word, ink it in, color it in, and then publish it. Pareidolia is something that is as old as the cave people. Pareidolia has been talked about by Leonardo da Vinci. He used to watch the plaster dry on the walls and make charcoal marks according to the discoloration of dry or non-dry plaster, and then he would see arms and faces and shields and horses in them. Pareidolic process. It's worked for me. Once I had 100 pages, I was able to sequence them into a story.